What's up, guys? I got my Seamoon e-bike right here. I'm going to show you guys basically a complete breakdown of this bike. I'm going to show you guys how to put it together, what it comes with. I'm going to test it for you guys. You guys can see me riding and everything. And then I'm just going to give my honest review at the end. So let's get in the video. All right, so first off, I just want to show you guys what comes with this. As you guys can see, this e-bike is a pretty big e-bike. It's awesome, but you don't have to install that much, honestly, when it comes out of the box. So as you can see, we got to install our handlebars, our light, and then we pretty much just got to install our tire, and you're ready to go. But here's what it comes with. You get all the tools and things to put it together. You get, your pedals, your light, you get a lock with it, you get a pump, you get all the tools you need. You actually get a phone mount, you get a fan as well. You just have to install the tire, and then you actually even get a backpack, which is pretty cool. So they give you a little backpack with it as well, which is kind of cool. And then you also get some extra tires with it. But now I'll show you guys, kind of how to put this together. All right, so the first part of the installation, super easy. All you got to do is just install the handlebar. So there's these 4 screws right here on this. You just have to loosen those, unloosen this, slide the handlebar on, tighten those back up, and get it to the right angle you want, and then you're good to go. All right, so I just got the front wheel installed. It's pretty easy, honestly. All you got to do is you want to make sure that these washers with the little gap in it or lip, you want to make sure those go on the inside, so you don't even have to take those off actually of the wheel. You just leave them on there, and those kind of fit on the inside on both sides. And then after you lock it in and slide the brake into the disc right there, then you put the other washer on the outside, and then the cap, or the screw cap right there. So then you put the other washer on both sides, and it slips right in there. At first you might have to move it, kind of bend this out, but once it fits in there, super easy and super smooth, pretty easy to install it. All right, I just skipped ahead, but the next part is to just install this fender right here, or protector, tire protector, and the light. So all you do is there's just this one screw right here. First you want to put in the fender, and then you put the light over it, you screw it in, and then there's these 2 screws on the side as well. So pretty simple and pretty easy. And then after that, all you do is you plug in the light right here into this cable right here that's kind of on the handlebars. So super simple. After that, you just want to install your pedals. They're labeled right here on the top, as you can see, right, and all you do is you just screw them in. All right, and then once you install those pedals, that's pretty much it. This was already installed. If it's not installed, you got to install that. There's a couple screws you can install. And then the tail light, mine was already installed as well. But if it's not, then you just have to, there's 2 screws right here that you just have to unscrew as well. And then, or that you just have to screw in right there to screw that in. Once you're set with that, you can adjust the seat height if you want. You can undo this, and you can raise the seat up to whatever height you want. And then you're pretty much good to go. All right, so now that we put it together, I just want to show you guys around the e-bike so you guys can see it. This thing is an awesome e-bike, guys. It's a beast, you can see. I really like how the battery is actually tucked away right here. I feel like it just gives it a really nice look. It doesn't even really look like an e-bike, which is super nice. But this thing has massive 26-inch tires, which you can see right here, which allow you to, it's basically like a mountain bike, e-bike. So you can ride this on the street, off-road, pretty much anywhere because of how, the off-road tires and how big they are. Right here on the tires, you can see as well, we have our disc brakes. So we have disc brakes on the back, and then we also have disc brakes on the front over here as well. So we also have disc brakes right there as well. Super nice braking, which we'll go over later in the video. We have dual suspension in the front. The suspension is awesome, as I've been using it, and I'll show you guys that later in the video as well. And then right here is the battery. This is how you charge it right here. So here's the charging port. You can open it up to charge it. But to actually take out the battery, if you wanted to take out the battery, it does come with keys. And all you do on the other side is you just put the key in like this. You slide it to unlock, and this kind of pops out. And then there's this little kind of button right here. You click that. You click this button right here, this little chrome button, boom, and then it'll pop out, and you can actually remove the battery if you want. But then when it's in there, you just click it into place like that, and now it's locked into place. It's not going to come out, and then you can pull that key up. And then you have, it's dual motors as well. So you have a motor on the back, a motor on the front. With both of them, it has a peak up to 3,000 watts of power with those motors, which is pretty awesome. This thing can go up to 38 miles per hour max. It has a range of about 105 miles with the battery, and we'll go over all that later in the video. But up here, you got your pretty big seat, which is nice. You can adjust the height down there. And then going up here, you have all of your controls. So you have your screen right here. Once the battery is locked into place, this thing can just be turned on automatically by just holding down the power button. So you hold it down, and as you can see, the screen turns on. And there's a couple different things on the screen. You got your miles per hour. You have your pedal assist mode. So you can do pedal assist. You can do just mountain bike because it has a 7-speed Shimano gear system. Or you can just do full electric. But you got your pedal assist. Then you can switch between your odometer, your trip, your max or your average. and you have the odometer or the trip on right now. So it shows you how far you go. And then you also have your battery level on the top. But going over here, you can switch your pedal assist with the plus or minus. So as I plus, as you can see, the pedal assist goes 1 to 5. You can adjust it to like 1 to 9 in the settings as well. If you click this, it'll actually adjust the brightness of the screen. So you can adjust between basically 2 different brightnesses there if you want, which is pretty cool. And then what you can do is you can actually adjust some of the settings of this bike, which something that's super nice is that the manual actually goes through all the settings, which a lot of bikes don't have that in the manual. You have to like find it on your own. But with this one in the manual, it actually shows you all the different settings in here. But all you do is you just hold down the plus or minus button like this, and then it'll actually open up the menu, and you can switch, change it from kilometer per hour to miles per hour. You can set the speed limiter settings, stuff like that. So you just hold down the plus and minus settings, and then you can adjust the settings. And the I button is basically to control that as well. And then one thing that's cool as well is if you hold down the I button, it actually will go to walk mode. So you can actually hold it down and it'll go into walk mode, which basically, if you're walking beside the bike, it'll go, I think it's like 2 miles per hour or something like that. It'll basically walk with you, so it'll make it easier to walk with your bike, which is pretty cool if you hold that down. You can switch right here between single and dual motors. Then over here you have your light. So if you click this button right here, it'll turn on that big light in the front, which is super nice for nighttime, and you can actually adjust this light as well however you want to. And then you have a horn right here. You have your blinker signals. So as you can see, I just turned on the right side blinker, and then you have, the blinker turns on in the back, which is super nice. And whenever you brake as well, that'll also turn on. So I'll show you right here. So I'm braking right now, and that whole thing will turn on. So it's really nice if you're riding at nighttime, so people can see you, stuff like that, which is nice. And then over here, you got your 7-speed Shimano gear system, so you can ride this like a mountain bike or like a regular bike if you want, which is nice. You can adjust through the gears, and you can see all the gears down here as well, right there. So you can adjust, which is pretty nice. You got your throttle right here. You got your brakes right here as well. And then what's also cool is this actually can charge your phone as well. So it actually does have a built-in USB that's plugged into the power system. And it does come with a little phone mount as well. So you can actually install the phone mount, and then you can actually charge your phone, while you're riding your bike, which is pretty cool, if you were running out of battery, which I think that's a really awesome feature that they added. All right, now that you guys saw the bike, let's get to riding. Show you guys some tests. All right, so first off, I just wanted to show you guys how it looks when it first takes off. I have it on dual motor mode. I pretty much, throughout this video, I'm only on dual motor mode, just because, if we're gonna ride this thing, I'm gonna ride it fast. I don't wanna go slow. But this is what it looks like just going by pretty fast speed. As you can see, it threw my hat off because of how fast it's going. And this thing honestly flies. It rides super well. If you guys are looking for a fast e-bike, this thing is awesome. It also turns really well, which was kind of surprising to me because of how big the wheels are. 26-inch wheels are pretty big, but you're actually able to move them around super easily. As you can see here, the handlebars pretty much go all the way, perpendicular to the frame, and so you can move them around super easily, and you can actually turn pretty sharp, even though it's a pretty big bike. But yeah, this thing definitely moves. This is a very fast e-bike. Like I said, it can go up to 38 miles per hour, and I was definitely able to get it up there. I actually didn't have a straightaway long enough to get up to actually 38, but I got up to about 35 miles per hour. But I think if I had longer straightaway, I could do that, and it gets up there pretty quick. And then the next thing right here, I'm just showing you guys the brakes. The brakes also work super well. And even if you're going at top speed, you can stop super fast because how good they are. And then now I want to show you guys the suspension and also just the power of this thing. This is an uphill off-road trail right here. And as you guys can see, it's bumpy and everything, and it literally had no problem going up the hill. I'm actually going to show you guys again right here just from the stop. So the other, test, I had like 10 feet of flat area before the hill. Right here, I just started from nothing on the hill, and as you can see, it goes up with literally no problem at all. So this thing just has a lot of power, and like I said earlier, it peaks up to 3,000 watts. So you're going to have just a lot of power and a lot of torque to be able to get up hills, really with no problem at all. And because it has those off-road tires and that front suspension, you get a pretty smooth ride. I will say I wish there was suspension in the back as well. There is no suspension on the back seat. I wish there was, because that would make it even smoother, but the front suspension is good as well. And as you guys can see right here, by the way, I'm going on a pretty big straightaway, and I'm able to get it up to 30 miles per hour fairly quickly. And if I was going even longer than that, I'd be able to hit that 38 miles per hour, I think. But this wasn't even at full battery either. So I think if I had full battery, it'd probably get to 38 miles per hour a lot quicker. But I was able to get to 30 miles per hour fairly quickly. And here's just some more off-road for you guys. Like I said earlier, this is basically like a mountain bike, e-bike. And so it's got gears and everything. It's got those really big tires to go off-road. And it's just super fun to ride, honestly. Like, it's got so much power. You can handle, you know, terrain just super easily. And here's just me riding it some more. You're gonna get a lot of clips here. You know, like I said, this is just a super fun e-bike to ride. I mean, it's probably one of the best ones that I've tested. I've been able to ride a lot of e-bikes, and this one compares to pretty much all the top ones just because of the power that it has. And one thing I wanted to mention as well is just the pedal assist. The pedal assist also works really well. Like I said at the beginning, in the settings, you can adjust it from 1 to like 9. I have it at 1 to 5. And when you set it all the way at 5, it really takes off super fast. If you are going to do pedal assist, I would recommend you guys stay on 2 or 3. Just take off. Otherwise, you know, you might as well just be using just the straight electric throttle. But the pedal assist does work super well in my opinion. So yeah, overall, as far as my review goes, this is an awesome e-bike, guys. It's super fun to ride with the tires and everything. I mean, it's a mountain bike, but it's also just a super fast, you know, electric bike. Yes, you can use the gears and everything and use it like a normal bike, but you know, as far as my opinion, this has so much power. It's just so fun to ride it just as a straight e-bike. Super fun. So much versatility because the wheels are so big. The only thing, like I said, that I didn't really like about it is that I wish it did have suspension on the back, on the seat. That would make it a little more comfortable just because the suspension on the front is really nice. You know, it has a lot of give and it just allows you to go over bumps pretty easily, but you still feel it kind of, you know, where you're sitting. And so I wish there was suspension on the back. And then the only other issue I saw, or I noticed, was just the, you know, sometimes when you first start going, sometimes it takes a second to kick in that power. So sometimes the initial torque isn't off the line, and other times it is. So I don't know what that's about. Maybe I need to adjust some settings and stuff like that. But, you know, it didn't happen a lot. It's just, you know, sometimes it would do that. It wouldn't have power off the line. But after you started pedaling and then, you know, once you started to get going a little bit, it would go back to normal and you'd get that full power again. But yeah, I was able to get up to like 35 miles per hour on a straightaway. If I had a longer straightaway, I could get up to, you know, 38, I think. I weigh about 185 pounds. And yeah, this thing had no problem going up hills and you know, getting to that like 35 miles per hour range. So overall, my review, you know, I think this is an awesome e-bike. If you guys are looking for a super fun, you know, e-bike in that range of like 38, you know, 35, 38 miles per hour, and you want to go off-road, go on trails, you know, mountain bike trails, I think this is an awesome option. It can go up to like 102 miles, I think it said, depending on, you know, how fast you go. If you're going the top speed, it's not going to go that far, probably, you know, but yeah, that's something to think about. So yeah, it can go pretty far, and yeah, definitely recommend checking this out.